Are you Christians?
Yeah.
Awesome. I have. You all like to read, or some of you like to read?
Yeah.
Well, as you can tell on my hat, I'm not a pro-lifer. I'm an abolitionist. Do you know the difference?
Yep.
Do you know anything about the pro-life movement?
Yeah.
What about you? Well, first let me introduce myself. I'm Nicholas.
Nice to meet you.
What's your name?
My name's Dean.
Dean?
Dean.
And what's your name?
Eric.
Eric. If you want to know how to actually abolish abortion, how to end it, this will tell you. Do you like to read too?
Yeah, I like to read it.
Oh? Or is this you're one of their daughters, so yeah. This could be part of your homeschooling.
I look at it. Yeah.
There you go. That's
This is gonna be mine. This is that one.
yeah. You can be. Do y'all know how to read? I mean, you look old enough too, but some people learn later in life. There you go.
What's the main difference?
Well, okay. Listen up, little kiddos. How old are you? If that's okay, if I ask. 8.
Oh, they gotta get walking, but I want to see.
Okay. The main difference is the pro-life movement. Pro-lifers seek to regulate how, when, and where a mom can murder her baby. They pass laws that allow for baby murder to be regulated, and they don't believe that the Supreme Court can be defied ever. And you may know, not everyone does. Roe v. Wade is what brought abortion to our country, where it's in a sense legalized to where we allow it. And the pro-life movement believe that we have to submit to that Supreme Court ruling. They don't recognize that it's an opinion, it's not law, it's not constitutional, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what abolitionists believe is that we must tell the Supreme Court no, to defy them and ignore their ruling in Roe v. Wade. It's not law, so it's as the founding fathers said, that it's null, void, and of no force. It's not law, so it's an opinion, so ignore it, totally ignore it. And so states like the state of Kansas, like Texas, like Oklahoma, we've had bills that would abolish abortion, wipe it out totally, criminalize it as murder, which is what it is.
Yeah.
And you know who stands in the way almost every single time?
Supreme Court.
Well, pro-life Republicans.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that booklet explains what they're doing to kill the abolition bill.
Yeah.
Here in Kansas, you should know this as Christians. Here in Kansas, to put it briefly, are you familiar with the Value Them Both Amendment at all?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Well, if you read it, it doesn't take long to read. The Value Them Both Amendment, it will actually put baby murder in the Kansas Constitution. It's not there now. If you read it, the first words in it is regulation of abortion, basically regulation of murder.
Right.
And so that's a pro-life amendment, and I oppose that because what's that?
It's never right.
Well, but there are the Christians that are supporting that. They think it's a step in the right direction, but it's like I ask them, you expect me as a Christian to put murder or to vote to put murder in the Kansas Constitution? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's what the pro-life movement does. But what Christians, abolitionists seek to do is put forth a bill, and we have done this, put forth a bill in the legislature to be passed. So far, they have not passed it, but a bill that
In Oklahoma?
well, actually, they're in Oklahoma too.
They just didn't. They just.
yeah,
Well, they passed a substitute bill in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
It was something. It's an abortion ban, but it doesn't ban all abortions. I know because I spent a long time in Oklahoma. The abortion mills remain open.
Right.
What they've actually had a bill that would abolish abortion. That booklet I gave you talks about it.
Yeah.
Every year going back to 2016, they've had a bill that would abolish abortion, and every year it is the pro-life Republicans that kill it every year.
Really?
Yeah. I invite you to look that up and read it. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to because, I mean, I don't go Democrat, definitely, but definitely not fully committed to Republicans either.
well, that's actually good. The Republican Party is full of cowards. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them, the politicians. And Oklahoma, I've been told, is the most pro-life state in the country. Supermajority pro-life in the state, House, and the governor's mansion. And they refuse to abolish abortion. They refuse.
Yeah.
They because they refuse to stand up to the Supreme Court, and they don't want to treat abortion as murder, because like what we need to do is pass a law that says the preborn child is a human being just like you and I.
Yeah.
just much younger, smaller, in a different location, and we need to treat their murder just like we treat if someone came out here and shot us to death, murdered us. And in order for that to happen, we have to punish those who do it. That means that the mothers are punished.
Right.
Not in every situation, just like they would go to trial. Just like a mom who murders her born child would go to trial today, right?
Yeah.
So we put them on trial once it's criminalized. And they might get the death penalty, they might get life in prison. It depends, just like it depends for born people. But once abortion is criminalized, if the mom knows what she's doing and she's not forced, she's like, I'm gonna do this, then she should get the whatever statute in that state. If you get the death penalty, she gets the death penalty. But there are exceptions where she's forced into it.
Would it technically be an accessory? Because she probably doesn't do it. The doctors do it, right?
Well, but
they commit the act.
Well,
she just consents.
It's actually the abortionist is the accessory in a sense, because the abortionist will not have any children to murder if the child's mom did not bring it, him or her.
You killed my daughter, but I signed off on it, right? That would be a little weird situation.
I mean, yeah, it's
kind of hard to think.
I mean, you could say the mom is an accessory. That she's not the one doing the murder. She's paying for the murder to take place.
Like a conspiracy.
She's basically hiring a hitman to murder her baby. And if she's assuming she's not under any duress, she's not being forced, she's not being coerced, she should be punished for that. And the pro-life movement opposes that. The pro-life movement fiercely opposes, once abortion is criminalized, punishing moms for doing that.
I would assume they'd be like the first step would be to punish all the dudes, like the guy who's the hitman, right?
Yeah.
If the hitman's got away with thousands of them, but it's all been single moms, like, okay, make the moms feel the weight of it. As a culture, we've gone away from that anyway.
Well, here's something most people don't know.
Multi-layered, right?
Here's something most people don't know. I didn't know this until I did more research. The laws in Texas before Roe v. Wade, they actually were not just themselves. The Roe v. I don't want to go above your head here because it's a lot if you don't know much, as you know, until we're talking now. But the laws in Texas prior to Roe v. Wade, even those laws did not treat the baby in the womb as a person, because there was no penalty for the mom who murdered her baby, and the abortionist got, I think, 5 to 7 years. That's it. And the author of Roe v. Wade, Harry Blackman, he cited that as part of the reason to pass Roe v. Wade, because he saw the penalties as different for born people than preborn people prior to Roe v. Wade. So I mean that's astonishing to think about. That even Harry Blackman, who is the author of Roe v. Wade, obviously was very pro-abortion, he saw the inconsistency of Texas law. And even the Texas heartbeat bill, same thing, no penalty for the mom, and the abortionist gets a $10,000 fine if he's caught. And the state won't even put it upon themselves to do the right thing and bring forth a lawsuit. They put that on the private citizen.
So I mean, a lawsuit for anything nowadays.
So I mean that's.
For that, I guess.
So I mean, like they think so little of children in the womb that it's like we're not gonna bring a lawsuit to these abortionists or to the moms. It's gonna be on you, this private citizen.
By any of us when compared to billion-dollar industries.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I don't want to I feel like you're drinking from a fire hydrant right now. There's a fire hydrant right there. So I don't want to overwhelm you, but when I meet Christians who don't know these things or know much, because I used to be there, I didn't know anything.
Right.
I mean, I didn't know about abortion at all until I was 22. I knew nothing. Yeah. And I wish Christians had told me these things. Yeah. But I just kind of wanted to, get
the ball rolling.
Yeah, whet your appetite that this is why babies are being murdered here in Kansas, in Oklahoma, all around America. And because we refuse to defy the Supreme Court, we think, we refuse to defy them on protecting babies. We will defy the Supreme Court or the federal government to smoke weed. In Oklahoma, I drive by pot dispensaries all the time. It's federal law. You can't smoke weed. You can't distribute it. You can't sell it. You can't possess it. However, states like Colorado and Oklahoma, they say we don't care. We're going to smoke pot. We're going to distribute it. But we won't. So the states will defy the federal government to smoke pot, smoke weed, get high, but they won't defy the Supreme Court to protect babies. Think about that.
It's pretty cool.
Is that insane?
Yeah, that is insane.
We care more about smoking weed than we do about protecting babies.
Yeah.
You know how crazy that is.
Yeah, that's not good. If anything's gonna bring judgment on the land, it's stuff like that.
Yeah.
It is bringing judgment on this nation.
Oh,
It's,
absolutely.
so I mean, that's
I didn't understand the difference. I would have just assumed. I mean, I prefer the pro-life movement to win versus the full-on 7 days after birth, movement.
well. To be honest with you, there's not the pro-life movement is keeping abortion legal, and I'm hoping what I just told you before I said that explains why.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know that, but they're passing laws that allow, you can murder these babies. You can murder your baby once you do this. Once you meet this criteria, you can murder your baby.
Right.
That's what pro-life laws do.
Right.
And they teach that it's not a baby until a certain time. That and they teach that every mom who murders her baby is a victim. When most of the time it's her baby that's a victim, not her.
Right.
Unless she's been the one who's been victimized in the case of rape, then yeah, she's a victim. But we have to love both mom and child, and but that's why abortion continues in America, because it's ultimately because we need to repent. We're sinners. We've sinned, and we need to repent, realize where we have fallen. That we need to stop bowing down to lawless courts, the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And but before I, keep any more coming from the fire hydrant,
Yeah, I gotta get going.
please,
I'd love to talk with you.
it's Dean and Eric. Okay, I have a YouTube channel if you want to check it out.
Yeah, what you got?
It's my name is Nicholas Heald, Heald. The word healed without the last E. I'll be posting thing about the parade on my channel today, maybe later tonight.
Nicholas Heald?
Yes, sir.
All right, got it.
I post quite a bit. I'm a traveling street preacher.
Yeah, right on, man.
So Dean and Eric. Okay. Feel free to reach out to me on there.
I appreciate the.
I'm also on Facebook if you want to.
Yeah.
If you have any questions.
Yeah.
So that way you have a personal contact, because what I gave you is general information.
Right.
But this is like a way to contact me personally if you have questions.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Here's well, Eric.
Hey, where'd they go?
They're heading down the street to
car?
go ice cream all the way. No.
Ice cream?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very
Thanks for
Catch 'em.
listening.
Hey,
Yeah, it was a pleasure to meet you.